Hey, fellow nerds. I added some minis to my collection in the last week, and I thought I'd share them with you. Some of these are pretty badass. Pretty happy about the results of these pre-painted minis that I ordered from a number of different sets, but wanted to share them with you. So, going through them from lowest to highest challenge rating, we'll start with one of my favorites, a really unique creature from the Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus campaign, the Bonewelk. This is a CR 1/4 large monstrosity, and it's really interesting whelk, shell-based creature, shell made up of just various bones and things added to its shell. It's a large monstrosity. Next up, we jump to CR2. This is Ankeg. These are the skittering horrors that burrow under our adventurers and come up and attack viciously and then burrow again. And I actually got 3 of these. So, because they rarely attack one at a time. These 2 are large monstrosities, unaligned, and you can find them in the Monster Manual, page 21. Next up, we go to oozes. So I have a large ooze. This is Okra Jelly. Very interesting translucent mini. Again, CR2. Large ooze, unaligned. Okra Jelly can reach out and attack a player character. This too is from the Monster Manual. The next CR2 creature, again from the Monster Manual. Very familiar with these, and of course I could not just get one. Willow Wisps. So they're sized more like a small base, but these are in fact tiny undead because they go by the individual lights. Chaotic Evil, as you know, also from the Monster Manual. So got a series of these, got a set of 3. Looking forward to using them. Willow Wisps are fun to play and play into the story. Next one is one of my favorites. This is a really cool monster. Stepping up to CR3, this is a creature out of Volo's Guide. Huge elemental, the Flail Snail. Just a really, really cool mini. It's kind of hard to tell in this lighting, but the shell is kind of pearlesque and flails on the front of the snail. Just a fun creature. They even have kind of the slime on the base from the snail. So very cool. Huge elemental unaligned, the Flail Snail. Another CR3. Got a series of these, and there are a number of hags. There have been green hags that have been released from various sets. This is probably the best sculpt I've seen of a green hag. CR3, fey creature, medium-sized. I got 3 of these because in the event that you're playing 3 of them in a hag coven, that works. Stepping up to CR4, very interesting. Bone Naga. If you play any 1T, a Bone Naga is a fun creature to add to the campaign. This is a large undead lawful evil creature. Again, CR4. You can find it in the Monster Manual. Stepping up to CR5, Air Elemental. And I picked up all types of elementals. These are all CR5. and they are all large elementals. I have the air elemental. We have the fire elemental. We have the earth elemental. And we have the water elemental. So I picked up all 4 of those, which is very useful. Used elementals quite a bit in play, both as a player and as a DM with NPCs. So it's nice to have all 4 of those at my disposal for use in play. Also at level CR5. Very unique creature. Happy to pick this one up. This is out of Volo's Guide. The catoblepis is the way they pronounce it on D&D Beyond. I've never actually known how to pronounce this. That's the way they pronounce it on D&D Beyond, thanks to the Critical Role folks pronouncing all these. The catoblepis. And this is a large monstrosity, unaligned. Very strange creature. Very interesting mini. Combination of opaque painted and translucent plastic molded into this mini. Very cool mini. All right, next up is the Elder Black Pudding. Now the black pudding is something that we're familiar with in terms of oozes, obviously. This, however, is considered an elder black pudding, which the only reference to an elder black pudding I found was in a third-party module called the Dead and Thay. And the interesting thing about this one is you can fit other critters in it as though they're being consumed by the elder black pudding. So you could use this as a black pudding, a pure black pudding, out of the oozes in your monster manual. This, in fact, as I said, is an elder black pudding. The difference really being in size. This is a huge ooze. That, in fact, according to Dead and Thay, I believe is a CR6. But you could play it as just a black pudding either way. It's a little large for that, but you could adjust your play accordingly. Next up, this is one of the ones that I've been looking forward to getting for a while. I've always wanted to play this as either a true polymorph as a player character, or play this against characters as a DM, but the Tyrannosaurus Rex, the T-Rex mini. This sculpt is BA. The tail is actually a separate piece, so that you can really get the full sculpt. This really is molded much like the Jurassic Park T-Rex kind of attack pose, and it just doesn't get any better than this. This is really cool. It is a huge beast, unaligned. You can find the stats in the monster manual. Next up is the other CR8 mini that I have. Tyrannosaurus Rex was a CR8. This is also a CR8. Interesting counterpoint to the T-Rex. This is the Tyrannosaurus zombie. Also huge, but you can see how the flesh is just sloughing off the bone. And it also comes with small zombie pieces that you can put in its mouth, because one of the interesting attacks with this creature, when you look it up in Tomb of Annihilation, is that it can regurgitate zombies that then also attack on its behalf. So they've complemented the mini with tiny little miniature zombies that you can put in its mouth to indicate that it's regurgitating zombies to go against your players. So very interesting sculpt, very nice complement to the T-Rex. Next up, we go to CR9, and this is an interesting one. I have a number of trolls. This is the Rot Troll, and I love how they've got some translucent plastic molded on the back. So it's a combination of painted and translucent plastic that really gives it an interesting 3D rot, necrotic kind of feel. This Rot Troll is a CR9, as I said, large, giant mini. All right. Next is an interesting creature. Two of them, in fact, CR10. These are large aberrations. One is an aboleth, and the other one is a Pathfinder mini called, I'm going to get it wrong, an Elgato, but it can also work as a modified aboleth. So I'm using this as an aboleth. This is the Icons of the Realms mini aboleth. It is a large aberration, lawful evil. You can find it in the monster manual, that attacks underwater. And this is the Pathfinder's version of the same thing. So it's a little bit different mold, a little bit different sculpt, but pretty cool.